mindset of learning because we have a lot in store. And yeah, so that's just basically it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. All right. Welcome everybody. I'm sure we are all expectant. We've been anticipating for this day, and trust me, it's going to be a good time out with us actually. Yeah. So I'm Theophilus Sani. I'm the product design lead for GDSC Zaria, and I'm the host for this event. Together with me is Innocent. Let me just allow him to introduce himself. So Innocent, sorry.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and I hope you can hear me. My name is Innocent Baila Solomon, and I'm the design lead for GDSC ABU, and I'm the co-host for this event. Nice having you all here.
All right, thank you, Innocent. We will start this immediately. I think we have over 10 persons on the call, right? So, yeah, we could start this immediately. So, the session is divided into like two parts. Yeah, the design part and the intro to UI UX. So, the design lead, Innocent will take the first part. So yeah, principle of design, element of design, everything about design actually, because we need to understand each of these process. Like you cannot just go into UI UX without even understanding what design is in itself. So we'll allow the design lead to take the first part. Then while I come in the second part, that has to do with the UI UX. So Innocence, over to you.
Okay. Once again, good evening, everyone, and I hope you're doing great because I am. How you all doing today? So, who can just take a minute to just say hi and tell me how his or her day went? Anybody? Can you all hear me? Sorry, you can unmute your mic and speak. Can
Yeah,
you
we
hear
can
me?
hear
Can
you.
you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, can you just go ahead, Teslim Balogun? That's your name, right? Can you just go ahead and tell us how your day? Let's just hear your voice.
Yeah, my day has been good. I'm a front end guy. Started learning web development during the strike. So, and I started contributing to open source projects recently. So, my day has been mostly. Um, I've spent most of my day on GitHub though, just contributing to some projects. Yeah.
Okay. That's very awesome, Teslim Baloguna. It's nice to hear from you. It's nice that we have front end developers here. It's awesome. I hope we do have a nice session. So today I'll be taking us on the principles and the basic elements of design. So for that, I'll be sharing my screen, and please can you just give me a moment for that? Um, okay. Can you all see my screen? Hello? Can you all see my
Yes,
screen, please?
your screen is
Yeah, we
visible.
can. Yeah, we can.
Okay, I'm starting right now. So we all know designs, we've seen designs. This doesn't really stay with limit it to just graphic design or even UI UX. Almost all form of designs, there are lots of designs, art and stuff. So basically I'm going to take us through the elements of design and also the principles of design. So we just know that when you see a great design, so what makes a great designs, like what makes a design great, and everything. So they are like list of elements of design. These are things that you bring together to combine and make a design awesome and nice. So, and there are principles of designs. Those are things you like need to follow for a design to be what, to be so awesome and appealing to the eyes. So among the elements of designs are lines. So they say lines are the most basic elements of design. They come in all shapes, size, and colors. Once you start noticing them, you will see grids all around you. Lines have direction, they can be visible or invisible, and can help direct the eye to a specific spot. So like these are examples of lines. So we all know lines now. Lines are just a a like distance between 2 points, like the connection between a distance between 2 points. That's what a line. It can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, symmetrical, asymmetrical. It can be dashed in form of wave, zigzag. They are all lines, and they all have what different meanings. So again, the next thing here on my screen is shapes. So they said a shape is a result of enclosed line to form a boundary. Shapes are two-dimensional and can be described as geometric, organic, and abstract. So these are what example of shapes. When you look at designs, mostly the A4, the whole A4 itself, let's see like the format where you see on social media and stuff. The A4 is a what? Is a shape. It's just a shape of the height and what and the width and the all what you put your elements on it. So these are what comprises of what of designs. The shapes you use them to create different and various elements. So we have shapes can be geometric, in form of like a mathematical form, like a square, rectangle, or a triangle. They can be organic, such as with rounded edges, such as cycles and other things to give this organic feeling, and they can be abstract, imagine I carry the shape color to shapes. Color creates moods and can say something different depending on the connotation associated with it. Color can create emphasis on specific areas of your design layout. So we have lots of colors, and they have their all different meanings. So red can be perceived as danger. When you see the color red, you know that okay, this is dangerous. When you see the color white, you know this is purity. This is something that is very pure. When you see the color purple, it means something that is rich, luxury and stuff. When you see gold, you see green, it's nature. So color have different meaning, and they can bring life to designs. And the next one here is form. So they said on a page, form is a positive element over the space. So imagine a page now, like there's a page now. So imagine the design on the page. That is a form. So they said a dot, line, or shape is a form when placed on a page. So you just scribble something on a piece of paper, a white A4 paper. So that thing you scribble on the piece of paper, that is the form. That is the form. So they say a form can either be two-dimensional or three-dimensional. You can have a two-dimensional object on your design, which is like a rectangle on your design, that is two-dimensional. When you have a cube now on your design, that is three-dimensional. So all those are what are forms. And while moving forward, you see a form and a space are almost alike. So they are just opposite each other. So you get to differentiate between a form and a space. So the next thing is what is value. Is value. These are basic things you use for your designs. When designing, you make use of line, you make use of shape, you make use of colors, you make use of forms. These are things you place in your designs. And the next is value. So value refers to the degree of lightness and darkness of a specific hue. So for those of us that are just hearing the word hue for the first time, hue literally means color. So a color can be seen as a hue. So they said yellow has a higher value than purple. Yes, because we all know color yellow is so light than purple, because yellow is closer to white. So and purple is not really closer to white. So its hue its value is lower. So they said value can create contrast on a page. So next, in the next couple of minutes, we are going to see what a contrast mean. But now they said value changes create contrast on a page. The reason you can read this text is that the black content contrasts the white background. So if you can see this text here, The reason you can read it is because what the contrast is what is like opposite the background. Imagine if I made use of a white text on a white background. That would be so impossible for me and you to read. So you see, this whole things come into what into play. When you have a darker background, you use the what a lighter color. When you have a lighter background, you make use of what of a darker color to create this contrast and balance between them. So the next one is what is space. So unlike form, you said form is what? Form is like the design on your canvas. Let's say form is like the main like the design on your what on your page. Why space now is the area that surrounds a shape. It creates a form within the space. So let's see this now. If you can see this, for space now is what is white dot on what on black, while for form is what is black dots on white. So this trying to tell you that this thing here I'm moving, this is what this is the form. Let me try changing its color. So this is the what the form now. It's trying to say that the form is what is on design, while the space now is referring to what to the background. So let me change it to red so you can see that while a space now creates what a form, so you can see the correlation between them. A space creates what a form. So space is what the extra area between in your what in your image, while the form is what is designed on the space. And the next thing is what is texture. So you said texture adds a tactile appearance to a design layout. Imagine how a design piece will feel if you touched it. The goal of texture is to add depth to a 2D surface. Texture can be applied graphically through patterns, either digitally created or an image mimicking the desired pattern. So pattern, when you look at patterns, they give this feel like this feel of comfort, like okay, there's something here. So a texture give these vibes like okay, imagine if you can touch a design now, like you can feel a design. So that's what texture give. You see, like sometimes you like you go to barb your hair. Let's say for boys now that barb their hair, they cut your hair and there's this feeling you get that okay, I look nice, I look great. And though you cannot eat your hair, you cannot really you can, let's say without a mirror, you cannot really even know how your face looks. But the goal, like having a haircut now, you get like this feeling. You just feel this awesomeness in you. So that is what texture gives to a design. It gives it this form of awesomeness, this form of like I can, this design is awesome, this design is alive. That's what texture does. So these are like just the basic elements of design. I don't actually want us to dwell here. That's why I'm so fast, because we have other principles of design that we have to look at. So I want to just rush this one because we are almost familiar with lines, shapes, color, form, was this one value, space, and texture. Are we all following? Am I the only one speaking? Can you all hear me? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear you. Yeah.
okay, that's awesome. Thank you. So I'll proceed now. And please, if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment section. So I'm already seeing your replies. If you have any question, you can drop them in the comment section. So I proceed. Then the next is also of design. So he said, have you ever wondered what are the principles behind a great design? We look at some of these that apply to classical and digital design and how to harness them in your work. So, like for years and years, people have we are not like the first to use principles of design. They have been there for years. Artists, designers have been making use of them. So today we are going to like check them out and know, okay, these are what make great designs great. These are what makes design awesome. These are what makes design nice, and we like get to know them. So stay with me. So number one says, make sure your design have balance. Make sure your design have balance. Balance gives a design its form of stability, but it doesn't mean elements need to be the same size or that you can make symmetrical designs. Rather, it's about helping the viewer's eye travel through the content in a way that aids comprehension. So, like balance, we are not new to the word balance. Imagine you carry two things and you weigh them now. Imagine you carry a 20-liter gallon of water and a 10-liter and place them on your hands. So you notice that the hand carrying the 20-liter is feeling more pressure than the one carrying the 10 liters. So you see those two things are not really balanced. They are not really balanced. So for a design to be awesome, for a design to be nice, it has to be what? To be balanced. Like you need to make the things what are on the left hand side and the right hand side equal, so they will create this nice proportion. So as you can see, the little examples I have here. Imagine I delete this. You see this design, something is actually missing. If you are following me, something is missing. Like the right hand feel heavier than the left hand, and you can see that the like all your focus is on the left hand side, not the right hand side. So you get the whole thing is not really that nice. So imagine I now scale this up. I scale this up like this. How is it now? This is balanced. Like at first, it was one side. You can balance it in different forms. But with this now, you can see that this my design is great. This my design is awesome. I can see this. I know that okay, I'm focusing on this one and I little things downwards, and it's so great. And you can see this also. If I delete this, this is going to be one-sided. If I delete this, is going to be one. Like this doesn't make sense. But having this around give it this form of balance. So next again, we jump to unity. So it says unity is a force operating within a design that gives it the appearance of oneness or resolution. This ensures no single part of the design is more important than the other. Just like our bodies, nothing is really more important than the other one. They are all what? They are all equal. Like our body parts are all equal. When you are sick, your eyes feel the pain. So that's how design is. When something is one-sided, everything feels the pain. So once you are trying to like make new designs, you have to make sure that everything is unified. Everything is in unity. They are going together. It gives this light to your design. It gives this oneness to your design. So you can see this. They are all in unity. They are all together. They are focused, and they have like you see, you can unify your designs, not even in this form, but in this form. These things, they are alive. They are great. You see, even by changing the color, it still makes sense. So that's like the form of unity. It gives your design this togetherness and oneness. So the third one here is focus on alignment. You said focus on alignment. This alignment is one of the most important design principles. It helps you ensure a sharp, ordered appearance for ultimately better designs by ensuring your various elements of design have a pleasing connection. So you can align your things like your whole design and text to the left or to the right or to the middle. You just get to place your text in a place where everything, they are going well. They are actually correlating. So that's just like one of the basic things of design. And you can see this, they are all aligned to the what? To the left. So once you see like everything here is aligned to the left, let me change the color. Maybe you can see it clearly. They're all aligned to the left. And even if I have any details, I'm going to what? Place it on the left. These are all aligned to the what? To the middle. And if you're using middle alignment, stick with it. If you're using left alignment, stick with it. Do not really confuse them. It's going to like change the whole structure of the whole design, and your user is not going to be focused on where you want him to be. So again, they said use hierarchy to help focus your design. I believe we are all familiar with the term hierarchy. Even everywhere in your family, you have your dad, your mom, your siblings, your elder siblings, that you respect them. This is how design works. When you have multiple visual elements in a design, you want to make sure you are giving extra visual weight to the most important message. This way, when someone looks at your design, their eyes are drawn to the headlines or areas you want them to focus on most. This is called hierarchy. So if you can see this design has no hierarchy. Like, this is just like an exercise book. This is just like an exercise book. If you can see clearly, let me give it a yellow color. This is like an exercise book. Everything is just, just one line. You don't even know where to focus at, where to just place your focus at. But with this now, this is great. You know that, okay, once I look at these designs, these three big boxes, this 1, 2, 3, they are going to take my attention. They are like, they carry the most important details. And maybe the next thing that will follow by is this one. This one is going to take your attention, followed by these smaller lines. That's how design works. The most important thing, take the most important hierarchy. They like stand out the more. So the next thing is what? Contrast. We are all familiar with the term contrast because we all edit pictures. We edit our pictures and other things using all these small, you use PixArt, you use Adobe Lightroom. So you have seen contrast, like, not really now, you've seen contrast a lot. You've seen contrast. This is not like the first time. So you understand the whole how contrast works. So contrast is the way when they say your design pops, what comes to their mind is what is the contrast, and it comes away from that page and sticks in your memory. When you look at a design and like, okay, this thing is attracting my attention, so it's good, you are going to retain it. Like, okay, so that main thing that is attracting your attention is what is like, it has the highest contrast. So it's like bring your whole attention, your focus and everything. One funny thing is that when creating design, look at your backgrounds and everything, and check the contrast, and like, your contrast should be opposite of your background. So if your design should pop really well, your contrast, the elements that has the highest contrast, should be what? Opposite of the background. So let's say you have a white background. You don't expect to use a white or a gray text and you want it to have this mild contrast. No, you use something like maybe a red one. You use something like blue. Blue would pop well on white backgrounds. You use black, it will pop well. So like, that's how these things work. So you can see like, okay, this is like a gray, it's so dull. Let me even change the color a bit. It's so dull, but you can see this captures your attention more than this, because this color has the highest, more contrast than the other one. That's how all these things work. You can see the red gives gives the shape this nice contrast that it takes your focus and your all attention there. So the next thing is what is emphasis. Emphasis can be created by size, weight, position, color, shape, and style. Sometimes referred to as dominance. Emphasis might seem similar to contrast, but it's not quite the same. Contrast deals with the difference between two objects, and emphasis deals with the impact on the object. So you see, these emphasis and contrast, they're actually, a little bit similar. But emphasis, by putting contrast and emphasis, you get to what lets your user focus on the particular thing. You can see that this stand out of all the rest. This stand out, like this yellow color stands out of all the green. So once you look at this, you are drawn to the yellow color. That's emphasis. I'm trying to emphasize on this one, and even this, I'm trying to emphasize on this box. So I change the color from the rest. I give it a stroke under to just take your mind there, take your whole attention there. So that's how design works. That's how emphasis works. And you can create emphasis go in hand with contrast. You can study them, and you produce great designs that pops. And next is what? Use repetition to your advantage. So there are some rules of design, like when designing, they said use, as two fonts are actually nice. If you're going to use fonts, use just two, maybe one for the heading and one for the body text. When you're going to use colors, use 2 and 3, like 3 colors maximum. It's going to give your design this looks. So you see, once you're making use of 3 colors, do you know what happens? You create this repetition. making use of three colors, designs is so vast. You can use the color multiple times. So you create this reputation, and it's so great. It's so awesome. Like this color is here. So it creates this harmony, and people remember your brand well. Okay, let's say once you see things like they are actually easy to remember. Once you Google, you see the four colors of Google, the green, blue, yellow, and red. You just know that this is Google. Because of what? They use their colors everywhere on the Google search engine, Google Developer Student Clubs, and a lot of things that Google actually involved in. They make use of what? These are colors. So whenever you see the colors, you just know that, well, this is Google. They make use of what? Of reputation. So that's how it works. And the last one here is what? Is negative space. So if you get all the last things I've been saying are what? You adding elements to your design. Either you're adding color, you're adding fonts, you're creating emphasis, reputation, and stuff. But this is negative space. So the part of your design you choose to leave blank are just as important as the one you're filling with colors, text, and images. So you see, like when designing, okay, let me give you an instance now. You can see like my background is white. So all these spaces I leave, like here, 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 they are all what we call what? Negative spaces. These are what? Negative spaces. And they are just so great. Like they are so awesome. Like negative space give life to your design. It makes your designs looks great and awesome. That's like the whole thing of negative space. So things you don't really, and spaces where you don't put anything, you don't get to fill them up. Those are what? Negative space. If you can look at here, these spaces here, like these white spaces around this black box, these are my negative. Let's say this is my design. My whole designs are all here. So these white spaces here are what? Are my negative space. And let's say this is my design, this whole white space. This is like my what? My negative space. So like this, my negative space are like the space you leave. You don't put anything there. It just creates balance and make your design looks great. So I'm rounding up right now. I'm rounding up. This is like the end. This is like the end of my whole lecture. So now that you are armed with the critical basic principles of design, apply them to all your visual designs projects. Soon it will become a second nature. You just study these things and get familiar with them. Soon when you are designing, you don't really like need to okay, balance. No, it just becomes a part of you in nature. Like you just get familiar with everything and you're just good to go. So I actually will not take any questions now because I want my other product design lead to just go around with the product design introduction to UI UX. So we'll save you guys time. And please, if you have any question after his sessions, we are going to ask. If no questions, then I'm actually happy. We all get to be free. But if you have them, you can type them down in the chat box. I'll check them out and I'll answer them later. So thank you very much for your time, and I've come to the end of my presentation. Let's have a nice session.
Thank you so much,
Theophilus, you can
Innocent.
continue.
Yeah, I hope we all follow through, because that will be a guide for us as we continue with the next part of this session. All right, so quickly I will talk about UI UX. If you allow me, in just a second, I will try to share my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen now?
No, I really can't see it here.
I'm sure I can see it now.
Not okay. Yeah, it's coming up now.
All right. Thank you, Innocent, for that. So now I'm sure most of us have been confused. We've been learning UI, UX, and I've been like, what's UI, UX like? Now the thing is, there's actually a broad term for it. There's what we call design. And before now, designs were made using Adobe XD and other software, even Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator was even used for designs like
Sorry,
mobile designs
Theophilus.
and all of that. But
Hello.
over time, there was this upgrade.
Sorry. I think there is an echo. Seems like you're using two devices. So if you are using two devices, maybe you mute one and leave one on so that the echo would stop. Sorry for.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Is the echo?
We
Is the
can
echo
hear
still
you.
there? Can you
Yes, it's still echoing.
Yeah, it's better now, right? Oh.
No. But if you are using two devices, like it's better I just mute that
Yeah,
that one device. Like mute it from your phone, something like that. Or keep it
it is
away.
already. It's already. Wow, it's bad. Wow. Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yeah, I think it's better. So probably
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
on.
Sorry, I need to keep my phone very close because of the network connection to this. Right. So, let me go back. All right, fine. So I'll say before now, UI UX, um, we had so many software that were being used for designs, like mobile designs and website design, before the advent of Figma and what we have now. So before now, the likes of Adobe Illustrator and the likes were used for designs, for mobile and for websites. But now this upgrade to what we have today as the Figma, and yeah, and it's generally accepted actually. Figma is generally accepted compared to the Adobe XD. So now let's just break down. Now UI UX. UI and UX, they are two different things. They stand on their own. But for us in Nigeria, for growing countries, we actually have like a combination of both UI and UX. But if you go advanced, I think they're actually independent things on their own. So UI means user interface, and UX means user experience. And they are great terms in themselves, in that if you're talking about UI, you're talking about the interaction you get from using a mobile app, or from trying to log into a website and interact with the website. Then the UX is the experience you get from using that website. And let me just quickly go through what I have. So first, let's look at the meaning of UI UX. So UI stands for user interface, and UX stands for user experience. So if you say user interface, you're talking about the interaction between a user and a product. And this could either be a website or a mobile app. Okay, imagine you have a website, say the ABU website now, and you log onto the ABU website, and the color combination you are seeing. Okay, we know the primary color of ABU is green, and okay, you log in and you are seeing a green color. Then you are seeing another contrasting color that does not make sense. Like, so visually, you cannot relate to what you are seeing on the website of ABU. You feel this disconnect already. You cannot relate to whatever you are seeing, and you don't have that flow. Like, you don't get to feel the flow between what you are seeing on the ABU website and you're interacting with, as it were. So the UI has to do with what you are seeing, the visual display of what you are seeing on a website, on a mobile app. For instance, when you're using a mobile app, say Piggyverse, and you log on to the Piggyverse app, and what you are seeing is a very, very poor UI. A poor UI is such that the letters are not so legible for you to see, or the color combination are not so going well. Okay, maybe you have a red color and you have a contrasting color, maybe with the green color close to each other. You have a different call to action button, for different parts of the app. You get disconnect between yourself and what you are seeing. So UI just has to do with elements such as the buttons, the icons, the drop-down menus, the scroll bars, the toggles, the input fields, and the likes. We're talking about buttons now. You could have call to action buttons. We call that CTA, call to actions button, like the login button, just like what you're seeing here. You could have the send button, the submit, the update, all of these, the call to action. They call them the CTA. Then for your icons, icons will just start to represent a particular thing. If I see this now, I say, oh, okay, this is like a like button. Maybe you're on Jumia now, and you want to add something to your cart, and you've added to your cart, and you're seeing something like this coming out. Okay, you know that, oh, okay, I've actually added this to my cart, and it's something that I have already. So this is more of like a like button. This is a message button. This is a search button. You're talking about this, and you're talking about profile, you're talking about contact, and the rest. So icons speak for themselves. If you see an icon, you should know what an icon stands for ordinarily. So you don't need to add text. If I'm having this search button, I don't need to add a search beneath it. But for some, for some designs, for mobile designs, app designs, and website, based on what the designer feels is okay for the user, can actually choose to add the search and add a write-up beneath it, and this is search. Okay, this is profile, but it all depends. It all depends on the experience, actually. Fine. So now we have the input fields now. And for these input fields, let's see. Let's compare something now. Now, this is name. This is name. And there's an input field for name. When you talk about input field, it means like where you can fill in something. Imagine you go to your website and they ask you to sign in with your Google account, with your Gmail, and or that space you have where you have to fill in those informations of yours, like the input field for you. So now this name, this password, this search. Now this name now, ordinarily, if I'm going to work on this, if I click on name, there should be a cursor now, kind of, that will be blinking. Okay, type your name here. You get now this password. Input your text now. Then this is really not so much of a good UI. This is not so much of a good UI because in my password now, you haven't imputed. Okay, if I input my text, how do I even see my password? Imagine I have a password and I want to even check if the password I've imputed is even correct. So you have more of like an I button now where you could toggle between your password, where it could be visible and when it should not be visible. So this is not a very good UI because I should have that, Then you have the search field too, where you could, search for whatever you want to search here. You can also search here and all based on what you like. Now, for this one, you could see the search button. They use the rectangle with a corner radius, maybe a corner radius of 1520. That's why you have these sharp ends here. For this very one, you just use a normal rectangle without the corner radius. This is a very bad UI. For this very first one, this is a very, 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 very bad UI. Then this is a good UI. Yeah, at least you have a search and all. So that's what the UI. UI means user interface. What you see on a particular website, what you see on a particular mobile app when you log to those devices. Now, for user experience, they're talking about the overall experience you gain from interacting with a particular product and with your emotions. It has to do with behavior and responses. Imagine I'm using a first mobile app and I'm seeing a space for me to impute my password. I have my password imputed, and I'm not seeing the next thing to do. I'm not seeing the call to action. After imputing your password, I should see submit or I should see continue or something. But I'm not seeing something that will lead me to the next stage or that will lead me to the next action. That experience will be very, very bad. That has to do with the UX. The user experience now will be so bad at your end. You feel, okay, this is not what I should have. Like I'm not really flowing with what I'm seeing on this particular mobile app, on this particular website. So user experience could denote one being happy, you could be excited, you could be sad, you could be happy, you could be angry. So it all depends on what you are seeing as outputs from a particular website or from a particular mobile app. Now, the UI and the UX work together for a particular product. And I told you about the product design. The product design is like the parent's name. You have product design. You have product design, you have the UI and the UX. Now, let's take an analogy now. All spoons are cutleries. Not all cutleries are spoons. I hope you can relate with that. Yeah, all spoons are cutleries because when you go to the kitchen, you talk about cutleries and you have your plate, you have your spoon. So spoon is a subset of cutlery, but not all plates are spoons. Do you get? Because a plate cannot be a spoon, but a plate is a cutlery. So that's the same thing we're trying to, relate with now. The US encompasses the entire spectrum of a user's experience with a particular product. And this could be visual experience. And you're not talking about UX, UI too. The UI is a subset of UX. Let's analyze this now. Imagine how to design a mobile app. How to design, the first thing I'll do is the UX. The UX is the user experience. The first thing I need to do is do a survey. Okay, how to do a mobile app for maybe a fintech app. The first thing I need to do is my survey now. I have to create maybe a Google form, send those Google forms out to prospective users now, get to see their reactions. What would they want to see in a mobile app? Have you used a mobile app before? What challenge have they faced using a mobile app before? What's the new thing they want to, what's the new feature they want to see in a mobile app that is different from what they have? You get, so you're getting like a research, you're doing a survey to get what the user need. So it's a survey now that will help you come up with a design. So the first thing first is UX. UX comes before UI. The user experience will now entail that, okay, go do your research, go do your survey, get what these users need, what they feel, what they want to see eventually in the product. Then after that, you now go further with your UI. Your UI has to do with the design. Okay, I want this space to be like this. I need my icon, I need my logo to be on this part of the website. I need my call to action buttons to be here. Or if it's a mobile app, I want a splash screen. And on the splash screen, I should have my logo on the splash screen. Under the logo, I should have an onboarding screen. If I say onboarding, what I mean by an onboarding screen is like, okay, if you have a mobile app, that's to do with maybe giving out money, maybe like a fintech now, you need to explain to your users what the mobile app does. Imagine I'm a new person, I'm trying to sign into your device, your mobile app, so I should understand what I am eventually going to meet or going to face your mobile app. So the first thing is this: I have my splash screen. After that, you could have your onboarding screen, which could be 3 or 2, based on whatever you feel like. So the onboarding screen will now tell the user what your product is going to do. Okay, this app will help you with getting fast payments, with an icon or with an illustration. And the next onboarding screen should tell you another feature the app is trying, to bring to you, or a solution the app is trying to bring. So now the thing is, you find a problem, then get the solution for that problem. Over years, over the time, UI UX designers are more of like, okay, problem solvers now. They look for a challenge and try to create solution to that particular challenge. In that same way, making money out of what they are doing. Now, if you have a software developer now, say a front-end guy cannot work without a UI UX designer in the real sense. Because imagine trying to design a website and it's like, okay, you're working on your base and you don't even know what it is like. You have to go through all the process of trying to code all of those things. But if you have a UI UX designer who has created those screens for you, you could just work on the screen. Okay, yeah, my logo is here. This is my call to action button. This is my header section. This is my Euro section. This is my footer and all of those. So they're already aligned for you already. So you just have to code those things out and make them functional. A UI designer will just give you a visual look of it, like in a file now, and then you can now just make that very, very functional. Okay. So now, for this understanding, let's just give like a difference between UI and UX, like in entirety now. Now, UX design focuses on the flow of a product, how each screen is linked to one another, how is it easy for the user to find what they are looking for. Does the user feel frustrated trying to complete the task on product? I just gave you an example now that, okay, I just logged into a particular mobile app and I'm trying to go to the next page and I cannot even see a call to action that will take me to the next page. I'm already feeling very, very frustrated. Now, if I find the product complicated, imagine I'm supposed to press submit in a particular mobile app, then I already filled in my information at the topmost part of the app, then I need to come down to press submit. Like the UX is bad, the experience is bad for me. I feel that's enough work already. If I have my input field, then beneath my input field, not so much, I just have my call to action there. If I have this large space in between, I feel this disconnect and I might not have a very good experience using that particular product. Now, a UX designer is responsible for making sure a company delivers products that meet their users' needs and help them achieve their desired goals easily. They ensure that the product is useful, usable, and enjoyable. They work closely with UI designers, developers, product managers, and project managers. I told you about developers now. Yeah, we need to work closely with these front-end guys to interact more with them and tell them that, okay, this is the design I've made, and this is how it should be. Most times, the UI UX designers have issues with the front-end guys. Okay, imagine I'm doing a mobile app and I'm making animations, and animations are so much. It's easier for us to play with these animations on Figma. But for the guy that is going to code it out, it's going to be a problem for him to code all of those animations out. For me, I can just go to my Figma file, go to my animation page, and add up those animations and make them, the user will see that I'll be very happy. Oh wow, this is cool, this is cool. But at the end of the day, it's the developer now that will have the issue with making that functional. So you need to interact with the developer to know what exactly it is you are designing, and the developer needs to understand what you eventually would give to him. So let's go to UI design now. A user interface is the part of the design that focuses on visual and interactive part of the product. I think I spoke about that earlier. So your UI design concerns itself with whether the app is beautiful and interactive. You get that's the UI. Yeah, an app is fine. I can see the app look. It's very fine, and I can say, oh, this is cool. This color is cool. Okay, I love this text. I love the font style you're using. The typography is cool. Those has to do with the UI. Those has to be the UI, the user interface. The interface means what you are seeing. You have a canvas you are working on, and I can see. Okay, you are seeing my screen now. Whatever you are seeing on my screen as text, those are the user interface. Those are like the UI. So for me to navigate to the next page, it's like the user experience. Does it take me time to get to the next page? Do you get? Does it, do I need to do so much? Is it so much complicated for me to the next page to interact with pages in between? If it's not, then fine. I have a very good UX, a very good user experience. If I'm finding that very hard to do, it means my UX is bad. So what you are seeing on my screen now is like the UI, but the interaction is the UX. So we need to understand these two things very, 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 very clearly. Now, let's summarize now. Let's give a recap of the differences now between UI and UX. A UI design comes after UX design. Remember, I told you UX has to do with research and survey. So it is after you've done your UX, that's when you now do your UI. There's something called UX writing. There are some guys that call themselves UX writers and UX researchers now. What they do is go to the public, go into the public space and try to interact with people, try to interact with the users and ask them what it is they feel about a particular that is already in town. You don't need to create a product from scratch. Do you get it? A product could be in existence already, but you now, as a designer, you are feeling that, oh, there's something that should be better in this product. I feel this could be like this could be better. So it's for you to come up with your own idea and say, okay, I'm going to replicate what this person has done, but in a better way. The name will be different, but you're always solving the same problem. But just that, okay, you actually went further to see that, okay, there's a fault in whatever product this person is using, and I'm trying to solve that issue. So now, a UI design deals with tangible elements. Then a UX design deals with conceptual aspect of design. Then UI design focus on the product. Then the UX design focus on the user's journey through the product. Do you get a user's journey through the product, navigating through pages and all of those things? Then the UI design involves how a product looks, how a product looks, that what I can see visually on a particular product, on a particular mobile app, on a particular website, what I can see. That's how a product looks. Then UX design involves how a product works. How does it work? Do you get how does it work? Like the interaction now. Going to the next page. Okay, for the medical guys now, it's just like you have UI and you have UX design. Just like what you have is skeleton now and you have a flesh. The flesh, if you have a human flesh now, you have a human body now, you can see the human body now, you can see the flesh outside, right? So what you can see outside is like the UI. I can see your UI. Do you get? I can see what is outside for me. That's like your UI. Then the UX now is like a skeleton, what I cannot see. For the medical student now, you can relate that to anatomy, physiology. Just like anatomy is, you're seeing structures, physiology is the functioning. So the UX is like physiology, then the UI is like the anatomy. Do you get? Like I can see your hand, I can see your face, those are like my UI. But my UX now is my function, like my innermost function, how I function, the interaction now. So let me share another slide here quickly. Okay, now I think Innocent has spoken about designs and all of that. So let's see. UI and UX are sometimes used together. They are sometimes interchanged. Are so tightly linked that many people get them confused. I think I've explained this to a very large extent now. Okay, so let's say a brief history about UX now. User experience is a human first way of designing products. Don't be confused with the word product. Product could be anything. If you're designing a mobile app, that's a product. If you're designing a website, that is a product. Do you get? So product in this sense now means either a mobile app, either a website. So this guy, Don Norman, a scientist and the co-founder of a particular group, was credited on the name user experience in the late 90s. And here's how he describes it. User experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and its products. I come again. User experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and the end user means the final user. If Paystack now goes for and say, okay, yeah, we want to bring something else now, we want to create an app now, or Jumia now, you log on to Jumia, Jumia is not doing a mobile app, or Jumia is not going to do a website for their workers. They are an end user, and the end users now. So their target is the end user. How would the end user feel about these products? Their services now, and whatever it is they are rendering as a company. That's what this guy describes UX as. Essentially now, UX applies to anything that can be experienced. You remember I told you UX means user experience. Be it a website, a coffee machine, or a visit to a supermarket. See, whatever it is you have, if you have a machine, right? If you have cars and machines, let's use the word machine. If you have a machine, you need to do research on what you need to do. Okay, you have a problem now. I need to solve this particular problem. People have been complaining that, okay, yeah, we've been using more fuels now, to as form of energy for our various vehicles. So let's try to bring something else, like maybe a solar system or something. So you have a problem now. The problem is that you're using fuel, and maybe fuel is expensive, or not everybody can afford getting fuel. So you're trying to bring something that is affordable to everybody. The sun is affordable, it's natural, so everyone can actually afford that. So the first thing is that you are seeing a problem, so you're trying to solve that problem using UI UX. So in solving that problem, the first thing you do is to do UX, do your user research. Okay, you're just having this feeling, but let's even get to hear from people. Are they having this feeling as you? Are you saying fuel is actually hard to get? Are you saying it's not affordable for people. Okay, so you need to do your UX for before going to the UI. Now, a UX designer thinks about how the experience makes the user feel and how easy it is for the user to accomplish their desired tasks. For example, now, how easy is the checkout process when shopping online? Okay, imagine I'm shopping on Jumia now. I want to leave Jumia. I want to log out. Do I need to go? Okay, imagine I've entered. I entered the session for maybe mobile phones. I left that session. I went to a session for maybe fashion. I left that session. I went on another session that has to do with maybe gadget, electronic gadget, and all of those things. So I now want to log out. Imagine wanting to log out, and I need to go back to my previous pages now. I need to go back, then go back to the first page. You know that the UX is bad. The experience is very bad for me. So the best thing for UI UX designer to do is to have a logout page on a mobile app, maybe at the topmost, or have it as a session, as a nav bar, so one can just go to the nav bar and just log out instantly instead of going back to all the previous screens. The UX to be so bad and so frustrating. The ultimate purpose of UX design is to create easy, efficient, relevant, and all-round pleasant experience for the user. So let's see the connection and difference between UX and UI. So yeah, I was saying UX designers enhance user satisfaction by improving the usability and accessibility of the product, while UI designers enhance user satisfaction by making the product interface look and feel enjoyable to the user. I think I explained this earlier and you can relate to mistakes now. So the main difference to bear in mind is this. UX design is all about the overall feel of the experience, while the UI design is all about the product interface, look, and function. If there's anything you should take out of this class today or this session today, is the fact that the user has to be the experience, how the user feel eventually by using a particular product. Then the UI has to be the interface, the look now, what I can see, the visual outputs of a particular product. A great product experience starts with UI, UX, followed by UI. I think I explained this earlier. Let's quickly round up with this. UX isn't limited to this space. You get UX and UI are not just limited to digital space. That's what I was giving the example of the machines and all of that. Now you could see this. Anything that can be experienced can be designed. I don't know if you understand the statement. Anything that can be experienced can be designed. From the packaging of a toothbrush to pressing iron and more. Anything you can think of, you can experience, anything you can have, a thought about can be designed and can be functional. Now, look at this example now. Look at this. I know, ketchup, right? Before now, this was the ketchup bottle, right? And imagine I want to use ketchup now, and eventually, after some times, the ketchup is getting reduced in quantity now, and I still have maybe some chunks of the ketchup left beneath the bottle. What can I do? I can't do anything, right? Because the bottle, I will eventually end up breaking the bottle. So they now advance and said, oh, that UX is bad, that user experience is bad. Do something by making our ketchup pack more of like a plastic. So I can actually choose to compress whatever is inside, to how I like it. Imagine I have this to some extent now and it's reduced in quantity, and I want every content out of this, so I can actually choose to reduce it just by pressing the plastic down. It's easier, so the experience is more improved now. Okay. So this is the UI. This is the UI you're seeing now. Look at this is UI, this is UX. So this is a button now. Imagine now, pray it doesn't get all over you. That's what's happening now because you keep breaking, like you keep it, and eventually this could break, or it could, it could just splash all over you. Then look at this now. This like a plastic now. You could just press this and just have exact quantity you want. But this will now form like the bottle, to form like a coagulation, around the bottom. It might not just go so well for the user. So we actually see this now. Okay, now you can study the UX of a banana. So this is not a joke, but we are doing this. But I don't think we have that time. Let's now about UX. Recommend friends. Then you have the actions. Tell further by it is. Let's just get something more. Now,
Let's see this now. You can see this now. Let's start with this. Take your eyes off the road too long also cause a crash, resulting in injury or death to you or others. Focus your attention on driving. Okay, now this is a warning, right? They are giving you a warning now. I don't know what you have to say about this, but I'll leave you with this question to answer. If this is a good UX now, sorry, this is a good UX or a bad UX. If I'm bad UX, I mean, is this a very good user experience or a very good user experience? Now you can see this walkway now. This is a median strip on a particular space of a road. So does this make sense? I think you could answer that yourself based on what we've said so far. Now, you have standards for a very good UX for different industries now. A very good UX should be very useful, should be very valuable, should be desirable, should be accessible, should be credible, should be findable, and should be usable. Overall, whatever product you are designing is for a user to have a very good experience at the end of the day. So you should have a very good product that should be useful, it should be usable to everybody, it should be desirable, it should be findable. Your product should not be scarce. It's something I can just go to Google Play Store and just search for. Or if it's not my product could be physical or digital product. I didn't tell you that. You could have a physical product or a digital product. Digital product has to do with maybe your mobile app and all of those stuff, your gadget and all. Like what you cannot see, like they are digital product now. So, but for a physical product now, maybe you're going to the supermarket to something, you're going to a mall. They should be usable, they should be useful, they should be accessible, and they should be very, very credible. Then we have the UX design process, and I think we'll round up here. The UX design process has to do with what a UX process looks like, and it answers so many questions actually. The first thing is empathize. When you say you want to empathize, you're putting yourself in someone else's shoe. You're empathizing with someone, like if you are the person, will you want this product? That's the first question you should ask yourself. Whatever it is you are designing, if you are the user, will it be okay for you to use? Will you be happy using this particular product? That's the first thing. So the first UX design process is empathize. Then define. You put yourself in that shoe. So you are trying to define now. I'm trying to define this product now. By defining now, you are sitting down. How feasible is this product? It's not just to empathize, not just to think about the product. How practical is this? Is this even possible? I thought your product needs to be usable. They need to be findable. Remember this, they need to be usable, desirable, findable, accessible, and credible. To understand this process to help you define the particular product. After you've empathized, you should define based on those standards now, based on the standard of usability, trying to find out products and trying to relate to them. So you now ideate. So you now sit down and now start ideating now. The ideas start coming in. You start seeing your ideas now on paper. How do I have this product? How many screens should I have for a particular mobile app? Should I have like 10 screens? Should I have like 30 screens? What should be the call to action? How do people relate to this product? And so it's all about ideating. You now sit down to ideate. In the ideating stage, you need to sit down, think of how sustainable this product will be, how useful, and how people can relate with this product at the end of the day. So if you are done with the ideating stage, into the prototype now. The prototype will now, the ideating stage has to do with you doing your UI design. You are designing your screens. So the prototype is now, you are now linking your screens now. I have a mobile app for maybe like 30 screens. So I have each of them on their own. So I'm not trying to interact all the 30 mobile screens together. So what do? I need to prototype. This is my screen 1. If I press this on screen 1, it should take me to screen 2. Maybe there's a call to action. Continue now. So you're now linking your screen 1 to your screen 2. So it's more like you're prototyping. That's what we call prototyping. You're trying to link screens together. You're trying to link things together. On a particular website now, you click on a particular website that, welcome to a particular website, and you're trying to log in. If you click on login now, the login will take you to another page where you should input, maybe your username and your password. So the interaction between the login and where you should input your password is done by the prototyping. We call that the prototyping. And eventually, when you have your username and your password, it's not even for you to see. You just get to go to another page. It's not even a front end, it's back end at the end of the day. So The next stage is the testing stage. You now try to test it now. You now have a full screen. You now have like a demo of everything you've done. You now start testing. Okay, if I press this screen, is it going here? Okay, is this okay? You know, you're just testing to eventually see how it looks like. So I think we've spent so much time, and we'll stop here. But the tool used for UI UX design is Figma. So hopefully in subsequent classes we could talk about how the Figma design tool looks like, and how it is used for designs and all of that. So I think I will stop here. So
Okay.
um
Thank you, Theophilus, for such an interesting sessions. We're grateful for that. So please, anybody, do you have any question? Like anybody has question and or any questions for me or Theophilus? Um, Hello, can you all hear me? Any questions? I believe that is where we're all okay and we are all okay with the whole teachings and everything. So I will try to, mine is a Figma, like those asking for the PDF to the lectures. Mine is like a Figma document. So I'm going to send the link to you. You can access it from there. And I think Theophilus too. But we also have the recording of this session. So we have the recording is going to be uploaded on YouTube, and the link to the video is going to be sent to the group for those who are interested in playing it back and getting familiar with all that we have taught is going to be provided. And please, I want to plead with all of us that we should try to get familiar with all these principles and whatever we've learned today on UI and UX and also the design, because in subsequent classes we actually need all these to produce visually creative designs, designs that are actually pleasing to the eyes. So actually need this. I would like us to just take a few moments and go through them, find external resources, find videos you watch on how you can align your designs and everything. And in our next classes, we are still going to continue to build on this introduction to Figma and other things to just get fully introduced to the whole UI UX design thing. So from my end, I'm actually happy. I'm so grateful that this class was a success. So I hope to see you guys in our next classes. So thank you very much. Theophilus, I'm handing over to you now.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you all for finding time to be part of this. We hope you learned one or two things. Yeah, and we hope to see you in subsequent classes. We will communicate with you guys. So please, for those of you that are not on the UI UX group for GDS CBU, you could kindly join. I'm sure you got the link and already you'd have joined, but if you've not done that, please kindly join. Some of you joined via the link, you did not register. Please kindly reach out to us so we could send the link to you or the WhatsApp group so you could just join directly and get flow of sessions. We could have, classwork and assignment in between, and that might not involve we having a session on Google Meet and all of that. So we need to interact with you directly and have more of like a follow up. We hope to have another session very soon. And thank you all for staying till this time. It's been over an hour, and trust me, it's been great so far. Thank you all. And from my end, it's a good night. Mr. Dan is still here. I don't know if you have something to say. I'm not sure. Let's see. Daniel.
Is it me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, no. I don't have anything to say. Thank you for the session. It was really educative. In fact, I learned a lot. So yeah, that's just it. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you guys. So we can leave the call now. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night. See you next.